How's it going, you guys? My name is Matt, and I want to welcome you to the 0 to 100K project. And today we're talking about Fathom Finance. It's a new project that's all unique code that's built from the ground up. The team's been working on this project for over 15 months, and they're having a pre-sale that's happening in 2 days on January 20th. Now, unless you've been living under a rock in the DeFi space in the last 2 weeks, it's been ugly. There's been a lot of rugs, scams, people stealing money. It's not cool, and we all agree that something has to change. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers are raising their standards, myself included, on projects that they're going to cover. For me, Fathom fits right into this new criteria because they already have 2 audits performed, one by Solidity, one by Truth Seekers, and they have already gone through a thorough KYC with Truth Seekers. I know all of this stuff, especially right now, is very important to new investors. So on the security side of things, they're really trying to cross all their T's, dot all their I's, and show the community that they can be trusted. Now, it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. None of that stuff is a guarantee that the project will have success or a guarantee that they won't do something malicious. But it definitely helps because if something were to happen with this contract or with this project, well, we'd know exactly who these people are, and the authorities would be able to take the appropriate action from there. But I'm going to do my best on this channel to really only bring you guys projects that are KYC'd, that have a reputable audit, and or have code that is renounced or immutable so that no one can touch it. There are no backdoors, all that stuff. So I'm going to do my best for you guys. Now, again, that doesn't mean that whatever I show you, nothing bad's going to happen. You still should only use risk capital for anything in DeFi. I also want to make sure that you guys know that when I talk about a project on this channel, I'm not endorsing that project and I'm not promoting that project. I'm actually only giving you my honest opinion of the project and I'm giving you a review. I've done all the homework. I've done all the research that I could do to make me feel comfortable. And I'm kind of pressing the easy button for you and just giving it to you in a digestible way. What I'm not doing is saying, hey, you should jump into this project. It's going to make you money. And it's just important that you guys understand the difference there. Are we cool? Okay, let's jump right into Fathom Finance. We're going to talk about the pre-sale, everything you need to know about that. And then we're going to talk about what makes Fathom Finance different from everything else out there right now. When I first landed on their website, I was initially hit with so much information that I was originally turned off. I was thinking, man, this is too confusing. But the more that I dug into this and the more that I learned about it, I realized it's actually not that complicated. It's just new. So I'm going to do my best to kind of give you an overview of the entire project right now. I'm going to go through each little component here, and then we'll drill down a little deeper and get a better understanding. The first thing that you need to know is that Fathom is not a rebasing project. They're a reward-based project. So they took the part that everybody loves about rebasing projects, which is getting rewards just for holding a token and not really having to do anything. But the biggest problem with rebasing projects is inflation, right? It just runs away and eventually it just can't sustain itself because the more tokens that there are, the less those tokens are worth. So what did Fathom do differently? Well, first and foremost, there's a fixed supply of Fathom. There will never be more tokens than there are at launch of Fathom. There's a fixed supply, meaning they're never going to mint new tokens. So the way that they are different is that they have a reward pool that holds all the Fathom that will be used as rewards. So it's not minting Fathom, it's just grabbing Fathom from that reward pool and divvying it out to people that are staking. So problem number one that they solved is this inflation problem with rebasing protocols where you can just mint unlimited tokens. Well, here in Fathom, you're not minting tokens. You're just grabbing them from the reward pool. So that's how they fix problem number one. Problem number two with these type of protocols usually is the token's value because you're earning more tokens, but the token's value is super volatile. You could buy $1,000 worth of the token, and then while you're earning these rebases at 1 or 2% a day, the value of that token drops by 40% or 50%. So earning 1% or 2% doesn't really matter because now your investment is way down. Now their attempt at fixing this problem is really the heart of what Fathom is all about. And they call this stable staking, which means you're going to receive rebases based on value and not the number of tokens in your wallet. Now the way that they're able to do this is by using a separate token called MAS. MAS is a dividend token. It's not a tradable token. You can't sell it. It's only there to tell the protocol how many rewards that you should be earning every 15 minutes. So for example, let's say you buy $1,000 worth of Fathom tokens. Now, I'm not saying you buy 1,000 Fathom tokens, but the value of the tokens that you hold is $1,000. Then you stake those Fathom tokens. You're going to receive 1,000 MAS tokens. Because remember, it's based on value. Your Fathom tokens were valued at $1,000. At the time of staking, You stake those tokens and you receive 1,000 mass tokens. But what happens if the value of your tokens drops to $400? Well, remember, the value at the time of staking was 1,000. So you're still going to be earning rebases off of the value of 1,000, even though the actual value of your tokens has now dropped to $400 or $500. So what they're doing different, it's value-based and not token-based. In their eyes, this is a way to protect the investor. If you buy the top and stake, you're not going to get hurt as bad because you're earning based on the value of the time of when you staked. And we'll cover this in another section. But every time other people unstake, you're going to catch reflections of the mass that they forfeit by unstaking. We'll cover that in more detail later on. But the amount of mass that you have will actually go up as other people leave the protocol. Well, what happens if the value of Fathom actually goes way up? So you staked it at the value of $1,000, and now that same amount of Fathom is worth $2,000, but you're only earning rewards based on $1,000. Well, what do you do then? Then you need to evaluate and see if you've already made it through the Ripple taxes and you can actually unstake without a penalty. It might make sense for you to unstake your Fathom and then restake it again. So you'd lock in the value of $2,000 where you only used to have $1,000. So understanding this mechanism is at the heart of what Fathom is and what they do. And this is the second problem that they're really endeavoring to solve. So you buy your Fathom tokens, you stake them here, you receive mass tokens. At launch, the ocean will contain 50% of the entire supply of Fathom. So 50% of all the Fathom tokens are going to be here in the ocean, the reward pool. And the mechanism that delivers those rewards is called waves. So every 15 minutes, the waves are going to grab treasure, which is the Fathom token that gets delivered on the waves, to individuals that are staking their mass tokens. Okay, so you have the ocean, which is the reward pool. The waves are the mechanism of delivering the rewards to people, and the actual rewards themselves is called treasure. Treasure is actually just the Fathom that you get for staking your mass tokens. The next thing we want to talk about are tides. Tides are actually a manual control that they have over the waves. And what I mean by that is they can actually control the frequency of the waves. So right now, the waves are set to happen every 15 minutes. If they happen to do some more research and experiment, they might find out that it's more beneficial for the protocol and its longevity to have waves happen every 30 minutes or every hour or every 24 hours. So they have the ability to adjust the frequency of the waves. But not only that, they have the ability to adjust the size of the waves or how much treasure is on each wave. And why that might be important is they have the ability to increase the rewards given on each wave that might attract more new investors into the project. So they have a mechanism built in that they can crank it up or turn it down based on what's happening, what the chart looks like. And I think that's kind of a cool feature to have in there. Now, this brings us to what they call the jet stream. The jet stream, you can think of that as the revenue generating arm of the protocol. And this is the third problem that I wanted to talk about that they're endeavoring to solve. And that is not having Ponzi-nomics and actually producing a project that has real revenue streams that are coming in. The jet stream is actually fed by all of the taxes except for the Ripple taxes. All the other taxes in the protocol feed this jet stream, which goes out and deploys those funds to start earning revenues. Those revenues are then sent to the weather. The weather is actually the smart contract that takes the revenue streams and buys back Fathom to refill the ocean. So you kind of see this like circular thing happening here. The Whirlpool is a wallet that's permanently staked at launch with 5% of the total supply of Fathom. And the Whirlpool is going to be the project's way of producing Fathom. They can be used for rewards, they can be used to pay for marketing, and they could even be used to add more liquidity if needed to Fathom. Next, let's talk about their tokenomics and taxes. You can see that there's a 25% staking tax, a 15% buy tax, a 5% sell tax, and a 0% transfer tax. Now, if you're like me at first glance, this kind of throws you off because you're not used to seeing a bigger buy tax than you have a sell tax, and not to mention a very hefty staking tax. But once I talked to the team and I started to understand why they wanted to front load the taxes, then it actually made more sense to me. Their reasoning for doing this, for stacking the heavier taxes in the beginning, is because of this right here. 75% of all taxes collected from these taxes right here are going to be sent to the jet stream. The jet stream, remember, is the revenue generating portion of the protocol. So in their thinking, in their mind, they want to collect the bulk of the tax up front because they're going to start using it to generate revenue right away, right from the start. Whereas other projects who tax you heavy on the way out, they're basically saying, well, we promise you to create revenues and we're going to do that later on. Where Fathom is saying, yes, I'm going to tax you heavy in the front, but 75% of that's going to go right into action and be deployed to bring in revenues. And the other 25% of these taxes is going to DevOps. You can see that the Jetstream investments are going to be something like 75% in validators and 25% in DeFi protocols. Now, in terms of the revenues generated, 70% of the revenues are going to go to the weather to actually buy back Fathom and replenish the ocean. 25% is going to be used to compound, so actually growing their positions in these investments. And 5% is going to DevOps. So if you want to just buy Fathom and not stake it and just trade it, you're going to be subjected to a 15% buy and a 5% sell. Now, the tax structure is uniquely different when we're talking about staking. So let's talk about that now. And also, I want to make a quick note. If you're thinking to yourself, man, there's a lot of taxes on the way in, that's also a benefit to getting in on the presale on January 20th. You actually get to skip all of those taxes. So that's roughly 40% tax savings by getting in on the presale. So remember, you have a 15% buy tax, and then you're going to have a 25% stake tax. After you stake your Fathom tokens, there's going to be a 2-day time lock that prevents all staked tokens from being unstaked. So there will be a 2-day period where you can't unstake your Fathom tokens. After the 2-day time lock period, you're then going to be subjected to Ripple taxes. Simply put, Ripples are a 75% tax that is reduced by 25% every 2 days for 6 days total. So if you were to unstake within the first 2 days after the 2-day time lock, you're going to get hit with a 75% tax to unstake. 2 days later, it's going to drop to 50%, and 2 days after that, it'll be 25%. You can see that after 8 days from the time of staking, there are no restrictions or penalties for unstaking. So you'd actually have to wait 8 full days to be able to unstake without a tax. Now, I also want to point out a sustainability mechanism that, remember how we talked about all of the other buy and sell taxes? They go to the Jetstream to start producing revenue. Well, the Ripple taxes, these ones right here, all of these ripples, if people incur these Ripple taxes, 100% of them are transferred to the ocean as future treasure given in waves to stakers. So the Fathom that's collected in these taxes is going to go right back into the ocean as a sustainability mechanism to keep paying out treasure to other stakers. Here's what you need to know about the MAS token when it comes to staking. Like we've already discussed, MAS is not a tradable token. It's a dividend tracking token that is based on the value of your Fathom at the time of staking. You can see that 1 MAS equals 1 BUSD. So if you stake $1,000 worth of Fathom, you're going to receive 1,000 MAS tokens. And you're going to receive rewards based on how much MAS you hold versus the entire supply of MAS in the whole system. So what happens when you unstake your Fathom tokens? Well, when you unstake your Fathom tokens, you actually forfeit all of your MAS. 75% of that MAS is just burned forever, but 25% of the forfeited MAS is reflected back to the remaining stakers. So just by holding and staying in the protocol, when other people unstake and leave, you actually get rewarded and you get MAS added to your account each and every day when people leave the system. The things you need to know about the presale are that you get to avoid 40% of taxes. There's a 15% buy tax and a 25% stake tax that you'll not be subjected to if you buy the presale. Secondly, everyone who gets in the presale will be auto staked. So when Fathom actually goes live, you will be staked and you'll have the 2-day time lock and you'll be subject to the Ripple taxes. So it won't be till 8 days later after we go live that you could actually unstake without a penalty. So number one, everyone who gets in presale is going to be locked for 2 days before they can do anything. So there's not going to be that huge dump and sell off that everybody's used to, where there's a huge green candle followed by an even bigger red candle. Make sure you join their Telegram and their Discord, which I'll have linked in the description of this video. You'll get all the updates that you need regarding the presale. As far as I know, it's going to be happening on their website, but I would get into their Telegram and Discord and make sure you're getting the most up-to-date information there about the presale. If you guys like this video and you like this content, I would really appreciate it if you'd show me by hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel. I want to invite you to come on the journey with me as I challenge myself to go from $0 to $100,000 a month in passive income to change my financial life and my future forever. You can do it too. You can do it too. And also don't forget to join my free Telegram group, the 0 to 100K Project. That link is also in the description. It's free right now, and it's basically a mastermind of people that are like-minded, that are all moving toward the same goal of changing their lives forever. You guys are awesome. I believe in you. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video.